Hey, how is it going, guys? It's Robin here on RB and Hardware, and in the background you're looking at Apex Legends, which is a brand new first-person shooter that just came out, made by Respawn Entertainment, the same studio that brought us Titanfall 1 as well as Titanfall 2. Now anyway, this is a free-to-play battle royale first-person sci-fi shooter, but unlike Fortnite for example, Apex Legends is more like a MOBA game and a battle royale at the same time without the building aspect, and instead it focuses on heavy co-op play and choosable legends, and these legends has different abilities. It's similar to heroes as in any MOBA game, but again, these heroes or legends, they have different strengths and weaknesses, and we're gonna touch on this a bit more in a second. Now I played a few hours of the game and I figured why not talk about it and how it performs at its current state. Now Apex Legends is very weird to me. It feels like a weird mix between Destiny, Halo and Call of Duty Blackout. If all of these had a baby, Apex Legends would be the result of that. You know what? Let's talk performance. So what do you need in terms of performance to play the game? For minimum requirements, you need at least an Intel Core i3 6300 clocked at 3.8 GHz or an AMD FX 4350 clocked at 4.2 GHz. The Core i3 Intel CPU came out in 2015 and the AMD one came out in 2013. You also need 6 GB of RAM here, and in terms of graphics you need an NVIDIA GT 640 or an AMD Radeon HD 7700. Now these are low-end graphics cards, and so if your computer is a few years old here, it doesn't have to be a full-fledged gaming PC. You should be able to play the game. For recommended, you need a slightly faster Core i5 from Intel, the 3570. You need 8 GB of RAM and you need an NVIDIA GTX 970 or an AMD 290. On the top left side corner you see my current frame rate running on a single GTX 970 and an AMD Ryzen 1700 clocked to 3.7 GHz and 16 gigs of RAM. The game is out right now, guys, and you can download and play directly from Origin if you're on PC. You can download it from the PlayStation Store or on the Xbox Game Store. Now I have the chance to try it on both PC and Xbox, and this is very unfortunate. As of making the video, keyboard and mouse is not supported on the Xbox One. I tested this just 15 minutes ago, so a controller is the only way to play right now, which is a bummer if you ask me. But anyway, this is what the game looks like at the highest settings, minus some minor adjustments on the textures, where I had to set the budget to 4 GB texture buffer instead of the 8 GB, which would have been the highest option anyway. And with everything applied, I'm able to max out the game on a single GTX 970. That being said, with these settings I do fall below the magic 60 FPS mark. With these settings of the GTX 970 is way too slow to handle the game maxed out, and so if you're sitting on a budget card or a lower end graphics card right now, you might have to scale a bit back on a few options here in terms of the visual aspects of the game, but you can of course always do overclocking. That would in many cases give you about 10 to 12 extra frames per second. Anyway, there are 8 heroes or legends to choose from in the game, although right now only 6 are unlocked for me, so I guess I have to play more in order to unlock the last 2. EA and Respawn have said that the roster of legends will continue to grow over time, and Apex Legends will feature a seasonal competitive structure during which player can unlock new legends, fresh weapons, themed loot and even more. So let's do a bit of backstory here. Who is Respawn Entertainment anyway? Well, they were founded back in 2010 by 2 guys called Vince Zampella and Jason West, 2 very prominent dudes who before they made Titanfall were a part of a game developer called Infinity Ward, making games such as Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare, and if you ever played Call of Duty you will immediately recognize the fast-paced COD feeling in Apex Legends as well. It feels much like the same game with a different touch. try and follow me here. The game much feels like Call of Duty Black Ops 4 Blackout to me, especially the first few seconds running and sprinting around looking for loot at the beginning of every round. Anyway, Jason and Vince decided to leave Infinity Ward to then start up this new studio called Respawn Entertainment. And yeah, the rest is sort of history. Now, talking about Apex Legends, there has been numerous tweets last couple of days about the game, with pretty much every Fortnite streamer tweeting about it, such as Dr. Lupo, TSM Myth, and Dr. Disrespect, and more. What's obvious here is that every streamer is being paid to hype or talk about the game, so you should always take these tweets with a grain of salt, since they're getting paid to promote it, right? That being said, I'm not sure how much Respawn has put aside to market the game, but I'm sure they've spent quite a lot to get these Fortnite streamers to play and talk about it. There's no question about it. So let's talk a bit more about the gameplay of Apex Legends. It's a fast-paced first-person shooter experienced in a Titanfall-like environment, but without titans this time. And I feel like the only thing that I didn't quite honestly like about Titanfall was the titans, because although I like the whole concept of running on walls, jumping and sliding, I guess I never really enjoyed the titan aspect of it. But yeah guys, if you played Titanfall, let me know your thoughts as well. Anyway, as in previous games in the Titanfall franchise, Apex Legends is using a modified version of the Valve's popular game engine called Source Engine, which is an engine that's been around since 2004, and even though it's old, it's been updated quite a lot and should by now play nice on even older hardware, which is something Respawn is very concerned about, as we all know how important high and smooth gameplay is nowadays, especially for fast-paced shooters such as any Battle Royale game. Now, one thing that we know about the Source Engine, looking at CSGO for example, is that it's very dependent on the CPU. And the good thing for a developer of using a game engine like this one is that they have already years of experience, right? So now, as I said, I play a couple of hours here and I haven't experienced any lag, bugs, or any sort of hiccups whatsoever. The game seems very stable for only been out for a couple of hours. Now, what makes this game stand out among others is the support for 60 players at the same times, and 3-player team-based battle is the only way to matchmake right now. It is still unclear if Respawn is making duos and single playlists available as well, but it's very likely that they will, even though this game focuses heavily on co-op. With that said, let's talk about the different classes. Right now there are a handful of legends available, more specifically there are 8 in total, all with different special abilities. The first one is called Gibraltar, who specializes on dropping bombs, basically a bomb specialist. Next one is called Mirage, who uses hologram technology to confuse the enemy. We got another one called Bloodhound, who has stealth abilities. We got Wraith, who can use portals and such to teleport. We got Bangalore, who is a weapon expert basically. We got Lifeline, who is a healer who can also bring supplies. We got Pathfinder, which is a robot with a zip line and a grappling hook. And lastly, we got a guy called Caustic, who uses toxic chemicals as his main ability. So as in any other battle royale, you start with the drop, and as the game looks right now, you team up with 2 other players. You get to pick your legend, and before the game begins, each squad is assigned something called Jump Master that basically chooses where your squad should land, and you exit the dropship together. Now, I learned quickly that if you want to gear up quickly, you should aim to land at any of the marked hot zones for the best possible start and the highest tier loots, but as always, these spots are going to be the most crowded ones for obvious reasons. There is also this hovering supply ship that you can secure. I haven't tried this yet, but this is basically what it looks like, and this hovering ship here is supposed to have plenty of high tier loots on it. So essentially, the Jump Master picks a spot where you should land, and it's pretty much game on. And as the game progresses, as the map area shrinks, it's the same kind of way as in any other battle royale. And right now there is just one map available called King's Canyon. It's hard to say how balanced the map is right now. I feel like I need more time with it. Now, that being said, I feel like communication is very important in the game, and after been playing for a few hours, although you are able to raise awareness to your teammates by pinging enemy location, ammo and weapons and other important stuff, being able to communicate by voice is almost a necessity, as teamwork is the only way to win in this game. There's also these jump towers where you can zip line up and redeploy on a new location. Now here's another thing that differentiates this game with others, is that if your teammate goes down, you can revive. Even if they die, you can retrieve their banner card, so to speak, and if you turn this card into a respawn beacon, your teammate will respawn again, dropping down from a ship like this. Now as you're progressing and leveling up, you will essentially unlock new skins and apparels, and as far as I know, this is just for the aesthetic, as it is in Fortnite. It doesn't increase the damage or anything, and this is going to be the cash grab for the developers, where you can buy skins and such if you feel like. Again, as far as I know, this is all just for the aesthetic, and that's pretty much everything that I know so far. What do you like about the game, guys? What do you think so far? Now, since it's 100% free, I definitely recommend you guys to give it a go and get a feeling for it as well. Let me know your thoughts. I'm gonna be back with a brand new video tomorrow, guys. Until then, have an awesome day, right? Bye.